First thing we will need to do is enable unknown sources in the security options of our device that we are using. This allows us to install apps that aren't available on the Google Play Store using an APK file for that app. We will need this enabled because one of the key elements that we will be using today is the original Android VNC app, which is no longer available on the Play Store. So after this is enabled in the security options of our device, we will need to go ahead and download the Android VNC app from the link I posted in the description below. When you open this link, just press the download button and allow the APK file to download. After this is finished, open the file. The easiest way to do this is to pull the status bar down and press the notification that states the download is finished. When we open the APK file, we need to press install and install the app, but we don't need to open it yet. After that's finished installing, we will need to download and install the BusyBox installer from the Google Play Store, which I'll link below as well if anyone needs help finding this. After installing the BusyBox installer, we need to open this app and press install at the bottom of the screen. This will install BusyBox to our Android device so that we can use the Linux Deploy app. So once BusyBox is finished installing, then go back to the Google Play Store and download and install the Linux Deploy app. This is the app that actually installs Kali Linux on our device. Then we use the Android VNC app to run Linux, or technically the VNC app is just to see the GUI of the Kali Linux image on our Android device. So once Linux Deploy is installed, go ahead and open it. Again, remember, in order for this to work, you need at least 5 GB of available space on your SD card. When you open the Linux Deploy app, you will need to grant it root permissions for it to work properly. You will see 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen in the Linux Deploy app. Press the one that looks like an arrow all the way to the right of the screen. This is all the settings of the app. We only need to focus on 3 different settings for this part. Everything else can stay the same unless you really know what you're doing. First thing we will need to change is the distribution of Linux that we will be installing. I'm going to use Kali as an example for this, but really you can install whichever you want. Now you don't have to change the distribution suite, leave that the way it is. If you start adding features in the settings when you're installing your Linux distro on your Android, then you will run into some problems. The biggest and most common problem is that the Android SD card has a default file system of FAT32. The FAT32 file system has a maximum size of 4 GB for one single file. And when we install Linux on our device, it's all installed on an image file, so everything is all on one file. So when we add features and things like that, then the image file will end up being larger than 4 GB, and the Linux Deploy app won't work and you will just get errors. If you really wanted to do this, which I don't recommend anyways because it slows down the Linux system when you run it and will likely be slow to even use, but if you really wanted to add components and stuff to your Linux system, if you know what you're doing and understand how the Linux system and Android system works, then you can always use your computer to format the SD card to external 2 or X4 or even exFAT so that there isn't a maximum file size. Anyways, that's a whole nother tutorial, so back to the task at hand. After choosing your distribution of Linux that you're going to install on your Android, we will need to scroll down and select the installation path. Okay, once the installation path is set, the next setting that we will need to change is the GUI settings. These need to be changed because for some reason the Linux Deploy app always gets the width and the height backwards, since when you start the Linux system you will be holding your device in a landscape orientation. So just switch the width and height and that should be okay. Then you scroll back up to the top of the settings and press install. This will take quite a while, usually 10 to 15 minutes if you have a good internet connection. I would advise using Wi-Fi also, because this will run all your data out and will be slower without using Wi-Fi. So allow the Kali system to install, and I'm going to fast forward through the video through this part. Once Linux is installed, then we will need to go back into our settings and press reconfigure. This will configure the Linux system to our Android device. Again, this may take a couple minutes, but shouldn't take anywhere near as long as the installation did. Once this is finished configuring, then press the start button to start the Linux system and to mount the new image file that we created. Now we will need to press the home button or the back button to find the Android VNC app. Open the app, and we will need to fill out a few more things to set this up. You can name this connection whatever you want. For this video, I'm going to name mine Linux. Then for the password, you will need to put in change me, all in lowercase letters. Then the port will stay 5900, and you can change the color settings to be higher if you have a more high-end device. I'm setting mine to 24-bit. And then just press connect. This will show the Linux system that we turned on with Linux Deploy app. Now it's a little difficult to control the mouse with the touchscreen, and takes a little getting used to, but you can always use a wireless mouse to do this also. To bring up the keyboard, just press the square button at the bottom of the screen when you press the screen, and that will bring up the keyboard. You can also zoom in and out by pinching, or the in and out zoom buttons at the bottom of the screen also. Now when you finish using the Linux system, press the menu button and then press the shutdown button in your VNC app. Then you will need to go back to the Linux Deploy app and press the stop button at the bottom of the screen, and once it's finished shutting the system down and unmounting the partitions, press the menu button and press exit to fully exit the app. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed my video today, and feel free to email me at admin@hackdroid.net if you have any questions or comments, or you can drop a comment and I'll respond as soon as I possibly can. I am here to help. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and